Okay, now I'm gonna do the versions I prefer in terms of like characters. So it could be very different or maybe probably the same, honestly. But let's see. Okay, so let's see the Z version of Bardock or the Super version of Bardock. Now, in terms of like characters, definitely Z by a little bit. Than the fact that we get a lot more in depth and we get a lot more into him. But we also get a lot more into Super Bardock in the Granola arc when they play a flashback in which Bardock, he was protecting Granola and his mom and Manito from, of course, Alec and his group of lackeys. That being Gas, Maki, and Oil. And tried his hardest to fight against Gas and stuff. Was doing pretty well. Got that Zenkai boost and started to beat up Gas and stuff. But I'm gonna say that fighting Gas was definitely not easy for him because Gas definitely got the potential to be a strong warrior, and because of the wish, well, yeah, they proved that right. But this version of Bardock, I mean, seeing him, lose his close comrades, because Frieza, of course, betrayed them and stuff. Wanting to get revenge against Frieza and wanting to fight back and stuff. Being actually for both of them, being the only single warrior who had the guts and butt to do something against Frieza, literally to fight back, even though he knew that he did not stand a chance. But regardless to Bardock's eyes, he did not care, and that I can respect a lot. So yeah, in terms of character, I prefer both still. Sorry. Now let's see. In terms of character in Broly Z and Super Broly, definitely Super Broly. I mean, don't get me wrong. Z Broly is definitely a menace and a scary villain and a pure evil villain. But the only reason why he's crashing out like that is really dumb. But I can understand where he comes from because they were trying to get rid of him because he was a dangerous Saiyan boy. A power level like 10,000 when he was born, and he was known as the legendary Super Saiyan, and one day could cause havoc and destruction everywhere he goes. They try to get rid of him and stuff. It's still messed up because he's a baby, but regardless, they try to get rid of him. And I guess the one thing that brings him back to his trauma is Kakarot's crying. But then again, he's a baby. Babies are supposed to cry. And I guess every time he hears Kakarot's name or sees his face, or it just reminds him of what he went through. And like, bro, come on. And also, majority of the time, you're acting very emo, and yeah, that kind of sucks. Now for Broly from Super, well, we definitely got a little more into him, and definitely a 180 turn in terms of character and how he acts compared to Z Broly. Because this version of Broly, he's a lot more innocent, a lot more nicer and kinder, and he's a good guy overall. It's just the fact that his anger issues definitely take over whenever he gets angry or tense or something, and that makes him lose control, and that definitely is not a good thing for him. Yeah, for everybody else as well, but mostly for him. But good thing that after he fought Goku and Vegeta and stuff, they invited him to Beerus' planet to train there and to master his control over Super Saiyan forms. And that was an amazing thing that they did because Broly's not like a main character now, and it's like a well-known character, and it's definitely going to be a major character later on. And he's part of the group now, part of the main group. Our main guys, Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus, Whis, and then Gohan as well. And of course, the rest of the two he got, that being Chilai and what, Lemo? Yeah, Lemo. But and now he got full control of his Super Saiyan form, but that's only step one though. Now imagine getting full control in his greener form. Now that would be a bigger upgrade. And we don't really know how far he can go. Like imagine if he got Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue. Bro, Broly is gonna be presumably the strongest Saiyan warrior in Universe 7. Because his potential is crazy. So yeah, in terms of character, definitely Super Broly because he actually has a character unlike this character right here. Now let's see. Next is GT Goku and Daima Goku. Bro, definitely GT Goku by far, not even close. This version of Goku acts completely different than Daima or any other version of Goku. Well, maybe besides some, but this version of Goku, a lot more mature, a lot more smarter, a lot more of a bigger menace, definitely a lot more scary, and yeah, definitely more horrifying to the villain's eyes and stuff. And he does not lay back his punches. He does not hold back. You would think that Goku would hold back because, he doesn't like to, kill people or something, or he doesn't like to get rid of them or whatever. Well, GT Goku, nope. If it's a villain, he gets rid of them instantly. He gets rid of them. Like literally. I mean, to one of the Shadow Shenrons, he proved that, right? He's not the same Goku anymore. And just the fact that when he went to Super Saiyan 4, he acts like a totally different person. Like no more like a cheery guy. I mean, he smiles and acts cheery sometimes, but majority of the times, he acts more serious and a bit more sinister. But I mean, I like that version of GT. So I mean, Diamond Variation is like it's like any typical Goku. You know, nice, happy, cheerful, and pure-hearted guy who loves to fight and eat and fight strong opponents. But yeah, I prefer GT Goku by far. Not even close, in my opinion. I mean, GT wasn't perfect, but this version of Goku was perfect. Now, the next one, we got Z Gogeta and Super Gogeta. Now, this one for me is really tough. I mean, let's see. This version of Z Gogeta, bro, that dude was straight up just. He all he cared about was straight up business and getting the job done and getting rid of the villain, and that's it. Nothing else. And he had that serious look the entire time. And, bro, the way he defeated Janemba was just pure aura farming. Like, in my opinion, definitely aura farming. Literally was starting to whoop his butt, you know, give him a couple kicks, give him a couple knee attacks, another one, and then just kicks his face off, turns around, throws a Soul Punisher or Stardust Breaker to him, and then just eats Janemba's punch like nothing, just stands there looking at him to disintegrate and disappear, and then the job is done. Bro, Fusion Reborn, and that character in particular, my favorite ever, ever. And then this version of Gogeta, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as this guy right here. But, you know, a lot more happier. He was happy at the end, of course. But definitely a lot more cheerful and looking like he enjoying the fight against Broly. While with this one, he had to get the job done. Because you were a villain, a pure evil villain, you got to go. But yeah, I like this version too. Because he was a lot more cheery and a lot more happy. And, you know, was enjoying the fight against Broly. So honestly, I love both. I love both, honestly. Alright, now the last character is, of course, King Vegeta. You can tell because of the mustache and stuff. And he's a bit taller. But yeah, we got Z and Super. In terms of character, I mean, what I've seen and what they can do most of the time, then definitely Z. I mean, both are complete fodders. Being able to be taken down by Frieza with one shot, which is ridiculous, seeing as how you're the king of all the Saiyans or something. You're making the Saiyans look bad, bro. But I mean, this version, you know, we saw him do a lot more compared to this version right here. I mean, he blew up planets. He blew up, what, 3 planets with just a swift his hand like this? He did that. 3 planets obliterated. While this version, I mean, I don't even know. He didn't do anything. I mean, he was just bounding down to Frieza and that was it. Like, what the, man, get this. But yeah, I mean, I like this version a lot more. Not because he looks better, but because he did a lot more. I mean, bro, destroying planets with one swift of the hand, that's really awesome. And that right there was also pure aura farming until Frieza showed up and then knocked you out. Well, more like got rid of you and then took your throne and then, yeah, did all that. But regardless, you did a lot more better than what King Vegeta did. So yeah, I prefer Z King Vegeta. So yeah, that was it. And my favorite variations are both of these Bardoks, Super Broly, GT Goku, both of the Gogetas, and Z King Vegeta. Those are my favorite variations in terms of characters or characteristics and stuff. So yeah, those are my favorite versions and stuff.